Lesson 10-8, page 360, a problem from the National Assessment. Boys and girls, as you can see here, we are looking at a question, that was on a standardized test in the year 1975. That's 30, 40 years from now or so. And they asked this question. A square has a perimeter of 12 inches. What is the area of the square? Okay, we do know a couple of things about a square. The first thing that we know about a square is that all the sides are equal, right? Because it's a square, it's not a rectangle. So all sides must be equal. And the perimeter is the length around the outside, correct? How long it is around the outside. And if they're all equal, and they're telling us that it's 12 inches, well, that means this number needs to be divided in 4 equal sides. So 12 divided by 4 would be 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So then we have a measurement of 3, right? Oh, not centimeters, sorry, inches. 3 inches on each side. And we have to solve for the area. You know the formula for area. Area equals length times width. Correct? Well, go ahead and replace the variables and solve. Once you've solved it, make sure that you write your answer right here. What is the area in inches square? Here are the results on how people did on this test. If we take a look at it, only 7% of 13-year-olds got it correct. 17-year-olds, only 28% got it correct. And young adults could be anyone in the category of 19 to 29 years old. Just say those are young adults. Only 27% of them got it correct. If you got it correct, boys and girls, then you are above average. Let's see some of the answers. Some of them said 144 square inches was the area. 12% did, 20% here, and 25% of adults said that it was 144. Some of them said 48, 24, and so on. You can see. Others got it completely incorrect. Others that just gave a completely different answer. And this many gave, I don't know. Okay? So, if you got it right, you should be feeling good about yourself. Let's go ahead and answer questions 2 and 3. Explain why many students might have given the following answer. Why do you think they would have written 144 square inches? Why do you think? Perhaps they don't understand what a perimeter means, right? Or maybe they just thought that 12 was only one side and that each side was 12. Who knows? Or why do you think they might have given 48? If each side is 12, they probably added 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. Perhaps. Go ahead and write your answers for these two. For question 2, students thought each side of the square measured 12 inches and multiplied 12 times 12 to find the area. Please copy this answer exactly as you see it here. And this will be one of the key answers. Use this format to answer question 3. What did student think? Students thought each side was, and then what did they do? Okay, go ahead and do number 3 on your own. Don't forget, this is a key answer, number 2. On the next page, page 361, we're going to analyze the relationship between diameter and circumference of a circle. So let's read together. You are going to explore the relationship between the circumference and the diameter of a circle. Using a metric tape measure, which is metric using centimeters or millimeters, carefully measure the circumference and diameter of a variety of round objects. Measure the nearest millimeter, which means 1/10 of the centimeter. So you're trying to measure to the nearest millimeter, which would be 10 centimeters, would be 100 millimeters. Record your data in the first 3 columns of the table below, down here. In the fourth column, write the ratio of the circumference to the diameter as a fraction. So you're going to write it as a ratio, like as you see here. Okay, you write the circumference and the diameter below it. In the fifth column, write the ratio as a decimal. Use your calculator to compute the decimal and round your answers to find the decimal places. The purpose of this activity, boys and girls, is to identify how pi was created, why we use pi. You will find that this is what it is. Okay, take a look at it. Here's an example. The coffee cup, the circumference of the coffee cup is 252 millimeters. So you could take a string, put it around the coffee cup, okay, and then measure the string up to the ruler. We're going to take a string and take our cup or whatever container you're using, your coffee cup or whatever circular object, and put the string around it, like that. Then you're going to take that string, okay, and compare it to a ruler, measure it from 0 to 22. You can see 22 centimeters. Okay, so that's what you will do. There is my circumference. That's one way to measure it. So go ahead and do that for multiple items in your house, circular objects. So you will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Practice it with 5. And then also measure the diameter. The diameter is directly across the circle, all the way across the circle. And then write a ratio and use your calculator, or you can also just divide the top number by the bottom number, and you will get your this value that you have here. As you can see, boys and girls, it's always going to be near 3.14. After you have gathered all your information on this column, go ahead and add them all and divide it by the number that you have here. So you will add them all and then divide it by 7. Okay, that will give you the average. Okay, here we have to find what is the median. So the median means you're going to line them up all in order from lowest to highest and just cross them off from lowest to highest until you get the middle number and write that there. Answers will vary because everyone's doing different circles. On the next page, page 362, we are converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. Now, boys and girls, most of the world uses Celsius. Okay, we do here in Venezuela as well. In the United States, it uses Fahrenheit, which is what they consider the customary system. And we use the metric system. Okay, we're constantly hearing about different temperatures. When talking about Fahrenheit, we talk about quite high numbers, but in Celsius, it's much lower. And there is an equation so that we can convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit to Celsius. And that formula, sorry, not equation, that formula you can find down here. Okay? Let's try these. We'll begin by reading. In the U.S. customary system, temperature is measured in degrees Fahrenheit. The metric system measures temperature in degrees Celsius. Water freezes at 0 or 32 Fahrenheit. 0 Celsius is when water freezes, but for Fahrenheit it's 32. What temperature is shown on the thermometer at the right? Here we have Celsius, and on this side we have Fahrenheit. Over here at Celsius, we can see that this is below negative 30, negative 20, negative 10, and this is 0. This is where freezing starts. So whatever temperature is down here, this is frozen. This would be negative 15, negative 20, so somewhere in there. It looks to be about negative 18. And negative 18 Celsius is 0 Fahrenheit, both extremely cold temperature. It is the same temperature except spoken in different, I guess you could say, languages, but not really, just using different measurement tools. Okay. The following formula converts temperature from degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, where F stands for Fahrenheit and C stands for Celsius. So, formula is Fahrenheit equals parentheses 1.8 times Celsius plus 32. So whatever Celsius it is, you will multiply by 1.8 and then add 32. And that will give you you can convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. A rule of thumb gives a rough estimate of the conversion. Rule of thumb is you just double the Celsius, double it, because this is almost 2. This is, if you were to round to the nearest one, it's almost 2. So you double it and you add the Fahrenheit, the freezing temperature. Okay? So you add the Fahrenheit freezing temperature. So Fahrenheit is 2 times Celsius plus 32. This will give you a very close estimate. Okay? Let's look at number 2. For question 2, go ahead and solve using the formula right here, okay? Or if you want to be more exact, use the top one and add in the question. So if you have Celsius, negative 20, what would it be using the formula, and what would it be just estimating, using the rule of thumb? And you'll see the difference of how far they are to be exact and to have an estimate, which you'll see it's not very much. Okay, boys and girls, that is it. Make sure to answer questions 3 to 6 on your own, and we will check them in class. See you on Monday. Or see you next class.